doing on this fine Friday? Hope everybody's doing alright. Welcome to our stream. Welcome to the Friday breakdown stream, and I realize the music's too loud now for no reason. Jeez. Whoever has the bass in the song, goddamn, their lo-fi beats are too strong, I guess. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday. It's nice. It was snowing here, and so it's pretty cool. It's not too bad. It is cold though. I'm not a fan of the cold, to be fully honest. And what is it? Snow got old like 24 hours in first day. I was like, damn, this shit's cold as hell. Man, we're gonna be looking at some great art today. I'm excited. I discovered this artist, I think, a few months back, actually, maybe 2 or 3 months, and I've been following their work ever since. And I really think it's really good quality, actually great quality work. I dropped some. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I think it's great quality work, and it is on Tezos, which, you know, it's nice. It's cheap, so we will be checking that out for today's artist breakdown. But yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, see if anybody joins, and then we'll get going. Yes, we'll just keep on talking. You know, I don't know. I was talking to somebody today in DMs about essentially how this whole Hickenunk thing has affected all of us, and it's been weird. Like, my collecting on Hickenunk has slowed down. Well, not even just my collecting on Tezos in general has just slowed down ever since essentially Hickenunk got fucking kneecapped. And so it's been weird, you know. It's like I started out on ETH and then I moved Hickenunk, so it's like I have most of like my career-based shit over there, and if something were to ever happen, I'll just transfer it to Minted. But it was just what we're talking about. It just sucks, you know, to try to build not a community, but like, you know, some sort of collectors around your work over there, and you try to set a name for yourself over on Hickenunk, and you build your collection from the Hickenunk collection instead of all that jazz, and then you know, now you have to start all over again on Object, and then it's weird. Discoverability on Object isn't as fun. I usually, like on Hickenunk, I could get in and browse, get lost, and because of how weird the UI was, I would just be able to get lost and just go from collection to collection. You look at work from work, and with Object, I try to do the same, but it's not the same feeling. It feels much more rigid, you know, when you search, which is quite sad, to be honest. It make me sad. It's like, again, like I would randomly like tell myself like, yo, I'm gonna sit for an hour on Hickenunk and, you know, collect some art, and then next thing I know, it's 3 hours had passed, and I have discovered so many artists that now my tab structure has changed, so that, you know, it's going from least from NFTs I'm on the fence for to NFTs I really, really want, right? And then on Object, I don't get the same feeling at all. We were saying though, what is it? In this weird way, the Hickenunk collection just became a Genesis Tezos collection, you know. In 5 years or some shit, people are gonna look at this and gonna be like, "What the fuck, dude?" I guarantee it. But yeah, so you know, I as you can see, I'm still using Tezos and shit because we're looking at an artist on Object, but that's because I really wanted to show their art, so it's gonna be fun. I hope. I hope they themselves as an artist are not hindered too much by this whole fucking Hankanung shit as well. You know, it's been quite rough. I'm not gonna lie, like especially on like the Brazilian community and Turkish community as well. You wake up and your fucking income's gone. Well, sort of. It's not gone, like, you know, right? Everything is still functioning on mirrors, but still, it's not a good feeling to have, even for the day or the few hours that you didn't. You're trying to get information. So it is what it is, you know. We're getting turmoils in NFT lands, growing pains in NFT land. Could be good. We should. A lot of us have learned from it. I myself am trying to, like Loki, start moving towards fully independent collections, just so nothing happens. I gotta get the code down. And what is it? In the NFT event I went to over the weekend, what you call it? It was stated that, you know, artists should try to understand some solidity to be able to read the custom contracts they're buying into, just so they know if they're actually getting an NFT in the RC 712, whatever the fuck, you know. And so, yeah, we'll get going in 1 minute. I just go with this one right quick. I cut off myself. I'll be right back. Alright, I was just checking on something I could just easily check on it from. I just stood up, so it was good. I was like, alright, cool, we get you. So yeah, we will get going. First of all, I apologize to the artist that I'm about to try to pronounce their name, because I do not know how to fully pronounce their name, and I might, like, you know, full honesty on the table, I might butcher it, so I hope not. Yeah, and so, well, before that, I will just get my little intro today to those watching live and anybody listening in the future. I am your host and dude who runs them streams, Anubis3100. And if you like to get in contact with me, you can tag me in the Metakey Discord and the Duat Residency channel, and I'll respond to you over there. Or you can tag me at Anubis_3100 over on Twitter, and I'll respond to you over there. I'm pretty responsive on both accounts. A little bit more on Twitter, just because my notifications are fully direct and I don't have a lot of notifications turned on, because that shit gets really fucking hectic. You can see always supporting the homie Dutch. Gonna support the homie project. So I think it's coming out soon. So yeah. But anyways, so for this little artist breakdown, we will be looking at the work of Kübra. So Yıldırım. I get. We're just gonna call it Kübra. Ever since I saw her work, I was, damn, this is some good shit. And of course, I should say there is a little bit of bias, right? I am Arab. I do speak Arabic, and so I do have a little bit of. I'm a little bit drawn to this work just because of its Middle Eastern value, and you'll see in some of the works they have Arabic writings, and so. But this is their Twitter. Go follow them. I can't pronounce that, so just go follow that and go give them a follow. Buy their art. Really sick artist. I myself have picked up, I think, 2 of their pieces. So I myself, I'm a big fan of their work. So you can find their work on Object, right here. You can search it. Just search Kübra with the U with the 2 dots on top, and you'll be able to get it. So they're still actively minting on Hikkenunk, the Hikkenunk collection. And you could also view this on the Hikkenunk.art mirror instead of Hikkenunk.xyz. I believe that's fully running, operating in good hands now. And so this is Kübra's work, and we're gonna be looking at a few of those. Just because, well, I'm gonna open one that I'm gonna open the two that I myself have bought, and then I'm gonna show you. There was one. There's a few ones here, key ones that I would like to look at. Just because this sort of style of work is really not full. We haven't fully seen it in this space, and it really is working. It's utilizing a few themes that we haven't fully seen. I could have sworn there was something else, but yeah, okay. I just for a moment. I think it's a good piece. I'm all right. So again, this is their collection. You can view it on the Hikkenunk mirrors, or you can view it on object.com, objkt.com. And so, yeah, we'll just jump into the 7 pieces we have opened. And so I think this is the first one that I bought actually personally. And you know how we always do it. We always open the IPFS to check for quality. Always, always, always. And this, for those who are curious, it's in Arabic. It says "Sallimini Ali," which says "say hi to him" in Arabic. Sallimili Ali, or Sallimili, is the feminine version of say hi to. It's directed towards a woman, and then Ali is to him. And then this is the IPFS, and then always, you know what we do out here, right? One click, boom. Look at that. I don't mess around, yo. I don't mess around when I look at this art and when I bring it to you guys. For real. Like, I don't give a fuck if this shit goes to. Look at this fucking quality. You know, this ain't no fucking joke. This artist don't mess around. I'm telling you. Like this. Look at that figure right there, and look at the texture and the patterns. Right. So this work is, again, say hi to him. No description really. Just other than, yeah, well, literally no description. All right, give me 1 sec. My cat found a really loud toy, and I can't allow that to happen. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Oh, just the cat found a toy that can essentially, it has like a little bell in it, and he just loves to fucking fling that shit around, and he can get really fucking loud. But anyway, so we're looking at say hi to him. I bought this work. And I bought it was because it's one of the cheapest work, but my motivation behind buying and liking this work is a few things, right? It's the utilization of sort of Middle Eastern texture and Middle Eastern like texture, with a sense of like sacred geometry within it. Because if you go to the Middle East, you're going to realize a lot of the patterns that we have are uh, inspired by some form of sacred geometry and mathematics, right? And so it utilizes that. And also, I mean, all I have to show you is sort of Turkish or Persian rugs, actually, right? Persian rugs. Okay. I don't want to fucking look at that. It just shows you, like, hey. And then, so, look at that pattern, right? Or, where was it? We were just, right? Look at that pattern right there, right? And so, deeply inspired by Persian. Persian rugs and such, right? It's also what I realize is Kübra's work is attempting, like, what she's doing is world building, right? And telling certain stories. I haven't fully, we're gonna be able to view what all these stories are, and if she has any descriptions, but a certain world is being created through a certain aesthetic, right? And these could all occupy the same space. Right, and so again, it feels as if we're just looking at a scene, right? This figure, you can already tell it's a figure in a high position just because of how they're sitting, they're floating. You have other unearthly like figures around them, bowing down or giving them holding their hands, right? But then when you zoom in, the eyes closed and the figure sort of looks sad, and so it's like it immediately feels as if it's a work commenting on the loss of something, right? Say hi to him, it's like, okay, who's him? Why aren't you saying hi to him directly? Why are you sending this person to say hi to him, right? And then you can tell you can tell it's commentating on love and affection legitimately, just because I think these are flames, right? And fire represents love, right? Flame always represents love in certain artistic things, but usually most of the time it represents love, right? And so you have that, and then I just one of my biggest draws is just like the sort of the best way to describe it really is it's like textile like nature, right? When you zoom in, you can almost feel the texture being utilized. And so again, and just the pattern, it's so pattern rich and color rich, and it's not just random usage of pattern, right? It's thought out. It's going along with the tree or with this tentacle like figure, right? And then the patterns on the figure are consistent, and it just, oh wow, like floral patterns of skin tones under more patterns with other different patterns. Like, look at this, that's a floral pattern right there, and then that legit could be a fucking Persian rug. I'm not even fucking kidding you. This feels like it's a Persian rug put on overlay mode in Photoshop, and like that's not a bad thing. It's actually genius. Now you get these texture and then floral textures, right? I mean, again, it's digital work that emulates a textile nature very, very well, and actually complements. Like, look at this, feels as it's like chalk, it could be the pixelation of it, but yeah, right, all this like gradient and ink splatter, if you will, right? Signs of deterioration or whatever. It's actually it all sort of adds to the aesthetic of the work. I will say the one thing I just noticed fully is this line sort of takes your eye out of. It's one thing they tell you in art school is don't have leading lines sort of like that strong line coming out of the work, because the work is sort of already isolated. Right, and this, I mean, this sort of is used to bridge this one box with the background behind it, but you sort of don't need that because the blending of these tones, right, and this figure breaking out of the box already allows your eye, and these tentacles and the leg, right, these allow your eye to immediately flow out into the background. Right, it allows you to go up and then around, right, and then enter through here, right, and go through there, enter through there again. You feel me? You see this random loop that you just tap into. Sort of, you can legitimately create an infinite loop. I'm not even kidding. All right, and so you don't need this leading line. You really don't, because everything sort of flows out, and this just immediately takes your eye into the, what is it, the black, the border, right? So that's the only one thing I'd say about this specific, but everything else it utilizes actually, it seems well thought out, right? And it's just, it doesn't feel like it's utilizing patterns for the sake of patterns. It's actually, it feels like they understand sort of the look and feel they're going for, you know. Again, like, look at these floral patterns and look at the difference in size of line work, right? How much detail fits in between these two lines and such, or there, you know. And just these two, I really like these, like, I guess one, two, three, four, six. It's not an octagon. Sectagon? I don't fucking remember my geometry shit, I apologize. But it's quite nice work. Alright, and and like these create a nice create nice movement for the eye, and then the random little color splatters also create nice visual breaks between the heavy patterns and the heavy textures, or like the heavy patterns and the figures, you know. Again, it's really great. So this is, time is up. I also happen to own this piece as well. When I saw it, I had to buy it. I think it's one of their only animated works. So I was like, I gotta get in. I gotta get in on this. So as always, IPFS. We can't fully. One of video streaming is not allowed. Calm down, IPFS. So I guess for this, I will just remove the backdrop. Actually. Okay, IPFS is taking a hot minute. But again, look at how nicely textured that is. Are you good, IPFS? What's going on? All right. Look at, again. It's utilizing. You can see Kübra utilize the same sort of pattern usage, not the same pattern, but the same usage of patterns and the same usage of splatters, right? To just create that textile feel and the texture feel. And on top, we get this just figure, right, looking at you, textured and patterned to hell, right, splatter. And if you could zoom in, I guarantee you get the noise here, right, the gradients. And then, you know, one eye is closed with a floral pattern overlaid on top of it, which I think is actually a very nice visual trick. It low-key ties this with that. Like this box and the pattern within the eyes with the patterns in the background. And also adds a little like visual interest, a nice like visual intrigue to the figure, if you will, because, you know, who has their eyes as floral patterns that move, you know. I really like it. I think it's a really nice floral design. I'm a sucker for floral designs, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's because I grew up with a bunch of carpets around the whole but right. And so again, you gotta, you know, with an hourglass, you know, like one blink it's a normal eye, the other blink it turns into an hourglass with time going through. Just look how nice the eyebrows are. Like, look at the character design. It's just not like a normal eyebrow. It's an eyebrow with different shaded hair on it, right? And then they also have blue hair that is patterned that matches their eye, you know, and then red eyes, or it matches part. It's like the way the way they're using color is very complimentary, sort of. Yeah, it's actually it's complimentary, and it's also like tertiary, if you not complimentary, but when you're moving next around each other, I forget the term for it. You know, reds and purples, right? Pinks, all that jazz, and oranges, right? But then that's complementary to the green and the turquoise, right? So it's like they know what they're doing, and it's like it's clearly they're clearly utilizing some form of color theory within that. Also, look at the background, right? There's quite a nice sense of movement within the background that's just present within what, 2 frames? That's literally 2 frames, maybe 2 frames, 2 or 3 frames, right? And again, it's not a hard animation. It's not the most overly complicated animation, but it's just it does everything it needs to correctly to not only get the message of, oh, yo, time's up across, right? If this figure is talking to a person they love or whatever. But it just also, I personally think that, you know, sometimes animation really shines and aids the work if it's done simply and not too complicated, right? You're not animating a show. You don't need to go all out. Unless it aids your project, right? And so I really quite like this. Again, I really like all the work because it's also just visually pleasing. Other than the fact that it's just like this sort of new take on Middle Eastern and Persian culture and stuff, right? Like it just, again, like like when I say I haven't seen art like this in the space, I really haven't seen art like this in the space, and so it's quite good to see art like this being supported, find its value, and also be able to grow, right? And so I look forward to these figures, right? Because it's the figures are sort of tied through the eyes, you know, and textures. So again, like there's a whole world being built. I guarantee to maybe not like it's not gonna be named or anything, but it's being built. So this is Oath. I clicked on this because I was like, this looks fucking ugly as hell. It just, you know, resembles an oath. It has a box. Serpents with portals or tunnels. This feels like a carpet. So this is where we fully see the carpet inspiration come in. I'm not legitimately. This feels like a carpet. Like some carpet design. And then if you zoom in on the background, look at the floral designs in the background. That's absolutely, you know, they drew that. I guarantee you they drew that themselves. Because it's the same sort of figure right here. Look at that. Alright. Oh, yo, Brave fixed their zoom in. And then, wow, that's actually great. Fucking grid texture for the snake to give scale. Yo, that's actually genius. Holy shit. I never thought of that. Wow. It reads so well. Like, yeah, it's like a grid, but I'm just reading it as scale. Like, scale is actually cool. And then they have the tarbouche, or the fez, for those who don't know what a fez is. Here. The tarbouche and a fez are almost the same. What the hell why are you showing me just... So this is a tarbouche. Right? This is what we call it, tarbouche. And this is sort of the Islamic version of a tarbouche, I'm pretty sure. Alright. And so again, Middle Eastern culture, sort of, you know, mixed with a revolver. It's the snakes holding the gun. You know, it's an oath. You know, if you break your oath, you die. And then again, look at all these just patterns. It's utilizing just basic shapes, literally, right? Just basic shapes, and it still feels so rich, right? And then there's like weird sort of, weirdly enough, there's like a random perspective trick happening here, like a visual perspective illusion, because it feels like it's going. You're looking at the outside and the outside of the box going in, but it's open from the inside at the same time. So it's like I think the actual like walked, I said not walked, but like warped sense of perspective in this work actually really fits it because of its nature and its nature as a carpet and how carpet illustrations work. But literally, like, look at this. That's the box, right? The box has been rendered like this first, in depth going outwards, and then she just waited and was like, boom. That's actually wild. Perspective is sort of hard to mess with, but this is actually great. And it just, you should see the smile that's on my face right now because, like, all these figures, man, it just, the patterns and, like, you know, they look otherworldly and stuff. It just, again, the world that's being built. Right, like, they have claws, angels, guardians, what are they actually? Those fucking feet, toes, I guess. Zoom in and a little sort of a snake going through a portal, right? And then um, worms coming out of the ground. I got something in my ear. My apologies. And another snake coming through the portal. That's the eye of the red snake. And then this is actually, I don't. I think this is a flat 2D drawing that's just then moved in Photoshop to fit the 3 dimensionality, which actually looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, it legitimately looks cool. When it's hand drawn like that and it sort of fits the hand drawn feel, it actually fits. So this is oath, right? You know, you're bound by the oath, right? With the hands pointing down. And then you have the scroll. That's a J. Pretty sure that's a J. And then the gun, right? Again, you have to keep your oath, otherwise you'll get shot, right? I think it's a really nice, visually clever work, right? That also aims to emulate that carpet, the carpet feel and look, you know. I also like just the difference in symmetry. It's like symmetrical, but like left side to right side, not up and down, and it's actually crazy. Imagine owning a wreck like that. Yeah, very. And then it's just bread being broken. And the hands are climbing the stairs. It's just wow. That looks like it's a snake as well. That's actually it so much detail. Yo. Yeah, this is work that I like because it's like it's obviously Middle Eastern culturally inspired, but it's not too deep. It doesn't need to get too deep, and it's visually and it's just visually pleasing. I have Oath open twice. I just realized. Yeah, it's extremely visually pleasing, and it's well done, well executed. Right? It's like yeah, the line work is stylistically done, but it's strong line work. right? Strong color usage and good, correct color usage as well. So this is F. And this right here translates. This says Hayati, which means my life. It can be translated as, you know, as a term of endearment. You say it to somebody you love. You know, they're your life. They're your Hayati. You know, but it's the female root. Yeah. Well, no, it's actually life is female. So as always, we're gonna hit the IPFS. So this one is a little bit texture heavy than or a little bit messy, if you will, than the other works. And there's a lot of overlaying and underlaying going on, and it looks really good. I just zoomed in on here because I was like, what's going on here? That's the overlaying. I mean, it's like overlaying and underlaying, right? Because I already said that, but there's a texture like this green texture here, and then this green texture here going under. So again, right? This means my life, right? And it seems as if it's two figures embracing, right? One is sort of wounded, actually. I think I'm not. Yeah, it looks like I mean, it sort of feels as if they are wounded. I'm not gonna lie, because of the red and then the blood being poured into there. It's alright. They're being carried by their figure. Again, the floral patterns. Just look how nice this is, and like how well thought out its placement and the texture. Like, holy shit. You'll never get bored looking at this. Like, not fuck. I don't want to say like fuck the story. Like, you know, don't pay attention, but like you don't even need to fully understand the story to appreciate the detail. You know. And just different opacities, different brushes. And then look at this little geometric texture. And it's like these almost feel like eyes looking at you, right? Actually feels as if it's a face, I'm not gonna lie. Because of the glowing green in there. This feels as if it's a mouth. It's actually crazy. Yo. If you're like, what do you mean? There is no face in there. Yo, come on. That's definitely a face. Are you kidding me? And then the opposite side is just like closed eye face. It's still a face. Just, you know, the mouth is like, it's just like the again, it's just, there's so much detail and there's so much textile and texture being emulated that you can literally just, your eye is just going everywhere. Right, and then look at these little white lines, right? They don't break the box or anything, but they lead your eye into the background. You sort of don't need them, but they actually add a little nice, add some nice details to the overly green box that occupies the characters, if you will, right? Just, and then right, you have my life, and obviously, right, we haven't seen a lot of works in the space that utilize Arabic text whatsoever. So to see somebody that utilize it and actually utilize it in a correct way too, because this picture does depict somebody, you know, holding their loved one. And again, it's a term of endearment, so it's like Habibi. If anybody knows Mark Habibi, who dropped this Habibi, Habibi is another term of endearment. It just means my love. So love, I think. Also, I just gotta say, like this world, whatever world building happening and whatever world Kübra occupies, it is fucking crazy. Look at the whole. It's such like I'll just tell you how many patterns are present in this little thing here, right? Purple pattern, or like purple splash, green splash, white splash, right? Red splash, right? Floral pattern, white lines, opacity white, like half opacity white lines, right? Red, just like red sort of coloring in, purple coloring in, blue color, well, like turquoise coloring in, like, and then just the blocks and patterns in the background, right? And then just black, like sort of, what do you call it? Like black ink splatters, right? It's just crazy. A lot of detail, and then right from afar, the background feels empty. This green feels empty, but when you zoom in, it's just filled with like all these little ink, like ink splashes. And then even the pattern is on the face, like that's and the rope changes color to give you a sense of depth, but also gets utilized and fully changes color to like match the figure as well. I mean, yo, this is legitimately great. It's, it, it's so rich in whatever, in all, I guess, well, not in all capacity. Well, yeah, it is rich in all capacities, right? It's rich in color usage. It's rich in line work. It's rich in texture. It's rich in patterns. It's rich in gradients. It's rich in textileness, if you will, right? It's rich in storytelling. It's rich in world building. Like fuck, do I need to do I need to go on? Is that a signature down there? No, that's just. I thought that was a signature. That's just flowers around the fucking tree. God damn. Like even just the littlest detail, little circle. I really, really love the patterns that are happening here. It's just like the evolution of sort of, I call it neo oriental, or post oriental, if you will, work. And it's utilizing what the orientalist movement sort of painted, right? And that's a very important thing, right? The orientalist movement, like if I go right, right, if I go towards orientalism and go to the, what is it, carpet market, and click on an image, right? This image here, right? You see all this pattern usage, and all these oriental paintings had a shit ton of patterns in them, and all these patterns would be from different fucking countries. So that's the fake part of orientalism, is like the scenes you're depicting are like an amalgamation of all the Middle Eastern countries together. They're not true to life. So the sort of evolution that happens is the evolution of this work is you either get or neo, I call them neo-orientalist works that depict the Middle East and what the Western canon considers the Orient, if you will, realistically. Or you come into my side of town where we out here, we just go all out, and we embrace the like the fakeness of those Oriental paintings to sort of reclaim culture that's been misused, and so it's like, again, it's like this sort of fictional use of culture is very like reclamatory in a way, because the artist gets to tell the story through their culture and gets to filter it through their lens, through their creative lens, which is very important, right? Not the creative lens of anybody else, right? And so again, that's a very important thing that's clear throughout all the work, right? And it adds sort of a layer. That's why the work is not only visually pleasing, but it feels like it's important, sort of, that you're staring at, like it has some sort of provenance or value. And that's because it has, I guess, what you would consider to be cultural provenance, I mean, to anybody listening, is cultural provenance a thing? I'm legitimately curious. I'm gonna tweet that quick. Just wait. There we go. What is it? Is there? Oh, true. I'm just curious, but you know, it's a good way. It's a good question to ask. You know, there's because I think it's an important question to ask legitimately about artworks, right? Is there such a thing as cultural provenance? I'm actually also gonna ask it on the Discord. Um, do y'all think there is such a thing as cultural provenance? Then that's a good question to ask. I look forward. Jesus, 9? 4 people just responded to my shit. I don't know. And there. All right. So we will move on to the next one. So this one was the F. Um, again, right? Hayati, my life. And then this is one of their newer ones, just for a moment, and it's utilizing. Actually, this is the first time I'm looking at this. I've been busy this week, to be fully honest, so I haven't had time to fully stare at this. And so, just for a moment, I can tell they're utilizing like the mirror draw function, which is, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually quite nice to get very symmetrical works when you need to, and when your work needs it, right? And one of my favorite things is, like, you know, they're starting to sort of expand their arsenal, if you will, right? They're no longer utilizing on these blocky patterns, right? They already expanded it with this carpet and just floral pattern in the background with the face. Here, we're gonna zoom in on this with like the face, right? And just this floral, and then it also gets expanded here because it's just marbling, right? It feels like it's marbling. I know how they did that. It's actually, but it's nice and it fits, and the way it fits is because of this pattern right here. This water-like pattern sort of resembles the marbling, and if you notice, it's actually flowing with the marbling itself. So Kübra is actually very smart. Like, look at this. It has like, what the f, it's actually genius, right? Like, no joke. Look how this flows. You can't see it, but my mouse is there. But like this sort of flows. You can't really see it because of the fucking border. Shit. Here, you see this, right? You see, like, that's actually hard to fucking do. You see that? It's actually, it's hard to sort of do, but it's like once it's done, like, the work sort of fits very nicely where it is. They're also utilizing the shadow feature, you know, very subtly, but it works. It's right. It gives you a sense of depth within the work. And then always we zoom in and then just look at that. Holy shit. Oh my god. No way. How much is 13 to far? I got 0.2. Oh, like, look at this. And also now I realize these might be words. Look. Just for a moment, I guess, or no. Maybe it could be their name, I'm not too sure. Maybe it could also just be, it could be a noon and an A, an N and an A in Arabic. This I'm having trouble sort of recognizing, but again, like, look, they know how to correctly draw. Look how nice this hand is. This is a correct hand, right? And so you can tell their style, this drawing style is utilized for stylistic purposes only. It's not because they can't draw. They can draw very well. Look how good this, again, look how good this hand is. All right, and so, and just the shadow, just like the pattern is evolving, right? Because her patterns are evolving. You're seeing the same usage from here, right? these sort of just single line patterns and dots, and then here you're seeing them again in the within the figure. This time they actually included eyes. Oh wow, so a lot of eyes. But here you're getting the same sort of line work, but more clustered together with different colors to sort of create the illusion of patterns of shapes of patterns, or patterns of shapes. Yeah, right. It's this sort of, although it's literally utilizing the same usage, just line work, very simple line work. It's the way it's clustered makes this look like a completely different pattern than this. Excuse me. And it is, right? Because it's building on top of each other, but you know. And let's zoom in onto this background here. Again, it's like a semi-floral, like organic shape, right? Because that's a flower, but then that's an eye, right? We're going everywhere. Again, it's like a carpet. You know, it feels like a carpet floral design. I think this might be sort of a self-portrait, actually. I'm not gonna lie, this could be a little bit of self-portrait. This does resemble hair a little bit, and you know, the figure isn't obstructed. It looks far more realistic than this figure, for example. So I legitimately think this could be a little bit of a you know, a little tiny Michelangelo inclusion, you know. And then yeah, this is sort of the teardrop shape. That's what we call it. That's what that's why I used to call it a teardrop shape. Which I don't know if it's like prominent in the West, but it's like I used to draw it a lot as a kid back in Egypt in school. So. And then there's this little room with a brain. Right, that looks like a brain smoking a cigarette. Right, you have the smoke pack, lighter, cup of tea, ashtray, and then toothpaste, I believe. Right, and then they're just in a room full of drawers and just the carpet. Right, the carpet. You can see that where they're again like carpet inspiration. Persian carpet and Middle Eastern carpet inspiration, right? It's mirrored, but then you have this random portal where the hands come out. And then you have the snake. And then also, like, weirdly, the patterns on the snake sort of fit the patterns, or like go very well alongside the patterns in the background. Sometimes they feel as if they blend in. You know? Whatever she's doing is, it's crazy. Wow. When you see me move my mouse like that, I'm just trying to, you know, think of how their brushwork went, you know, and I recommend it. It's a good exercise. You sort of start to understand how some of this work is made, right? It's not overly complicated, and they also like, yo, they know their shadows. They're actually paying attention. Look at how dark this looks compared to everything else, right? And they have the light shadow bringing, and then it turns into dark, and then it goes into light again. Highlights, I guess. Yeah, the highlights right here. Even the highlights on the ashtray. Holy shit! And then a centipede. Like a checkerboard. More checkerboard. I don't know what these are called on the thigh things, but I've sort of seen similar things that are worn around the waist for belly dancers in Egypt, and then, like, you know, they make a little bit of sound if they have metal, right? Eyes, you know, it's as if you're like, well, this feels a bit like a godlike figure, you know. So there's a lot of it sort of makes sense that there's a lot of eyes. Legitimately, I'm not gonna lie, it also feels like it just says just for a moment, and you know, it's weird, but it's like part of my brain is like is like, and I don't know what they're drawing. I haven't talked to this artist at all, but there's a sense of like deity likeness within this figure, presence of the eyes, right, and just how these moves, it's almost as if you're looking at a fertility deity, for example. Yeah, it's like looking at it from a zoomed in thing. It legitimate because this feel like they're like sperm swimming and such. You have the figure sitting on the shoulder, right, and the size. It's like a deity like figure, and you also notice the difference in pattern from shoulder to leg, like even and then eyes. I didn't even notice that eyes, and then just these. Wow, these little curves, and then whoa, the snake changes sort of color, I guess. No, no, it doesn't. It's just my computer screen is and from afar. It looks like a completely different color than from when I zoom in. um, again, this is really great work, and funny enough, this doesn't deteriorate from the work at all. The work still flows very well, legitimately. I'm, I'm, I'm legitimately surprised by how well it flows, despite the random cuts in there. I think sometimes comics have utilized that technique, but I haven't seen that technique fully utilized. That. So, yeah. We move on to the next and last work. So this is the Yıldırım Remida. So I don't know what that is. Let's see. I'm curious. Turkish. It's Turkish. There we go. Right, Persian rugs, Turkish rugs. We got it. We in here. We down. Right here. Well, let's find what this stands for. Turkish translate. I'm standing in my lane. So this means I'm standing in my lane, or I sort of read it as like doing my own thing, right? Staying in my own path, right? And I think it could be a comment on what the artist likes and what they like to do. It's don't go. This is the loop string. Don't credit? Okay, no. So loop string, I guess. Um, so again, well, you already know this work is successful because I already searched two terms, and I'm already invested in the work, right? My brain is already thinking, what does this mean? What does that mean, right? You see, this work is well, it's not utilizing the sort of messiness that was present in the other works, right? But it's still utilizing the shape, the pattern usage, right, within the figures, within the buildings, uh, within the ground, and within the background as well. And then it's sort of framed by this like sort of fantasy. like floral design also, right? It's like Art Nouveau style, if you will. Um, but this says it's like in my own lane, right? And so this sort of is I believe it sort of feels as if it's the artistic stance, right? Showing you this is what I do, this is my art style, right? This is sort of present by like this figure here, right? That could be the artist, and that could be their artistic representation of them, if you will, right? I really like the horse. You can't zoom in as much on this one, but the line work here is very sharp, really, really sharp, actually. And there's some like glow here happening because it's fire, and it's like this sort of feels as if like you're, the point of view of sort of a king, and it's a jester, and people are trying to, entertain you. Like legitimately, this is what it's reading like to me a little bit, right? Just because of this legitimately reads like a jester figure with the colors and the hat and everything, and it's holding things, and it's in its hand. It's doing the splits that are tied to chains, like acrobatic shit. Maybe not even like a king like looking at a gesture, or like a queen looking at a gesture, but like you're some festival, right? Like some circus, if you will. It could be a circus, actually. It does feel a little bit like a circus. Then you have the tree, and then I just noticed the blocks in the background. And also like really nice like depth play, right? Because the swell colors, but then you see just thin, like dimensions and stuff. And this figure looking to the side. What is it looking at? The work is already making you ask questions. It's successful when it's already done that, right? Your eye is still traveling, and the work does also a really good job of keeping your eye encased within the work. She's just using this sort of floral like border, even though there's like splatter here and around it, it's just like a nice little visual break for your eyes, right? And there are visual breaks within the work, right? It's the background, the foreground here, the ground itself, you know even the blocks can sort of work as a visual break themselves. So again, it's work that's utilizing and all or like successful to its full capacity. Colors are the color usage is successful, right? Framing, composition, themes, ideas, right? Line work, shading, gradients, pattern use, texture use, textile use. I can name them all, and all of them are being done correctly, right? Color theory, like all of it. Kübra's work is actually really fucking insane. It's like, look at the figure in the background. Like, what? So many details too that you can literally like stare at a work for an hour and just keep finding on new stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And to those watching in the future, like, go check out their work. This is inshallah or God willing. Yeah, and here you can see this is an actual flat out just like carpet design. I even need to zoom in. Actually, we'll zoom real quick. And this is sort of praising God, God willing, and it's just sort of it has a fantastical element to it. But just look at this. An M. Right, look at the patterns. I can tell opacity brush. I can see it. Opacity brush. Right, tentacles. Wow, tree roots. Wow, like sacred. Sort of like resembles a sacred tree, if you want. Again, carpet. Come on, that's a carpet right there. I told y'all. To anybody watching, I know. I've been around these parts. And like weirdly enough, like these shapes that resemble carpets are actually right. They're making faces. This face is throwing up something, and then it's going into its hands, it's connecting to the other person, and then you have this figure with no head. This figure, Still and just, oh my god, the colors. Like this. What is this? And just, oh. This is actually fucking beautiful. I have no words. Look at this. What the fuck? It's just so detail rich. It's actually insane. And I actually don't mind the messiness of it. You can sort of tell how it was made, and it fits so well. It fits so fucking well. And then this figure separated in the middle. And then this says, God willing, in English. And again, I just... And those like start to resemble sort of tattoos. Again, this does. Yeah, holy shit! This Kübra's work is great work. Go follow them, Eric. Like legitimately great work. Like I'm pretty sure everything here is all their work is gonna be fucking. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little stream. I certainly did, and I always enjoy making these, especially looking at really good art like Kübra's. So again, go follow her on Twitter. Go say hello. Go buy her art if you want. Right, this is her Twitter right there. Go, make sure to give it a follow. You know, her art is insane, and she's oh, where is this? Is on Foundation. Holy shit! Wow. Here, yeah. Oh, the carpet design is fucking great. Yeah, go give them a follow. Go tell them. Go buy their art. Insane artist right here. If you enjoyed and if you'd like to get in contact with me, you can tag me in the Metakey Discord and in the Duat residency channel over there, and I'll respond to you. And you can tag me at Anubis_3100 over on Twitter, and I'll respond to you over there. I'm pretty responsive. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. You may have noticed the lack of an artist talk yesterday. I had a few hiccups come up with scheduling, as well as I lost my real life wallet. So I had to get that sorted out, and I had to get the artist talk moved, and just haven't had the time to post about it. But the artist talk should be uploaded. I'm trying to get it uploaded on Sunday. Before the Sunday stream, but if not, it will probably just be uploaded next week. Yeah, I'll just use that time to like actually get my full shit sorted out. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on in the next one. Bye.